Well, this is the meeting, the zoning board of appeals, it's Tuesday, August
But
19th.
that would be the agenda.
August 19, 2025. And this is being recorded by MTTV. So first, we're going to start with bridle crossing discussion. In accordance with the comprehensive permit relegate regulations, 760 CMR 56.0511, bridle crossing as requested to be placed on the board's next available public meeting to determine if the project change to construct the units as condominiums in lieu of rental units will be considered an unsubstantial change. It's pretty straightforward. This is a substantial change, so do I really, you guys want to say anything?
Sorry, over here, Mr.
Yep.
Chair. For the record, I'm Walter Sullivan, the attorney for the applicant. With me is Kevin Seeland, one of the applicants. And we want to thank the board for seeing us on such short notice. This is a subject that came up during our permitting process. The abutters had especially had indicated a preference for home ownership. So it was something we were amenable to. We have not been sitting on our hands since we were last here. We got appealed. It took us approximately 6 to 8 months to resolve that appeal. And Kevin has become an expert on turtle permitting with the state. And so we just got that permit, and we're about ready to move forward. Since we were last here, I think another 500 apartments have been approved in the town of Marshfield. Our design is suitable for townhouses, home ownership. Our lender would prefer us to pursue home ownership. It's my understanding that Marshfield, with the current approved projects, is now over 10%. So I don't believe that changing from apartments to condominiums is a significant change for the town of Marshfield. So we wanted to come before you because we think, based on that, that it's not a substantial modification to the permit, and we're asking that the board give us that relief to modify it so that it will be the same number of units, but it'll just be different ownership. It'll be condominiums rather than apartments. Again,
So the project's not changing, the whole project's the same, all you're doing is changing from condominiums, from the apartments to condominiums.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
all
It'll
the
still be,
drainage, infrastructure, everything.
The first question is whether or not this is a substantial change. And it is a substantial change in my estimation. And then.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that, Andrew. Sorry about that. So the first question in my mind is whether or not this is a substantial change going from apartments to condos. Or the outward appearance is identical, it's just the ownership structure.
it would still be 14 affordable units out of the grand total, so it's
Yeah,
going to be.
but because the calculation for that 10% safe harbor is going to be different, I do find, in my own opinion, it is a substantial change. Which is not to say that I couldn't be persuaded to permit the change in ownership, but I just think for purposes of the threshold question, whether or not this needs the full hearing, I think it does meet the criteria of a substantial change. And just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm not inclined to be in favor, but I'm open to being persuaded.
Understood.
Bob, do you consider this a substantial change?
Well, I don't make the decisions.
I understand that.
The regulations provide that generally this type of a change is a substantial change. 56074 lays out certain factors, and I highlighted it in a memo. This is change that's generally speaking a substantial change.
So does the board consider this a substantial change?
Yes, I'd like to echo what Brian just said. I think it's a substantial change, but I also remember the applicant addressing it early in the process of wanting it to be condos.
Right,
So
I think it's a
I
substantial
think
change.
something needs to be discussed, and I think it is.
I do
substantial.
as well.
I agree, I think it's a substantial change.
Is this what is viewed by
one form of housing tenure to another? Is that what this is, that's what this is
Right,
considered?
that'd be a way to put it.
All right, well then, yes, it's a substantial change.
So there's your answer. So now we would move to we'll have to have a full meeting on this. You'll have to apply.
Okay, so we will reapply and ask for a public hearing, is that how it, or will it? Okay.
Now, in terms of the litigation, is this something that, I mean, because as you know, the neighbors were not in love with the project. I don't know if you might have seen any of that.
I got that
social
sense.
media. But is this something that the neighbors would be inclined to be, I don't want to say more supportive of, but maybe less opposed to?
We think so, based on the comments during the hearing.
Yeah.
And different conversations we've had. Now, I can't speak for them, I can't put words in their mouth, but there were several comments that would lead me to believe that it'd be more receptive to homeownership. A different level of, maintenance and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. I mean, just a simple metric, I mean, I took a quick look at the Madison, and their single-unit offerings in apartments, for instance, single-bedroom unit has 2 windows in it. Well, our single-bedroom unit has 8 windows. So it's more of an upscale, I think it lends itself more to ownership than apartment rental, short-term rental, or whatever, length rental. And that, in the market conditions right now, we're thinking the rates are gonna come down. There's a lot of apartments being built in Marshfield right now. It's not 500 new ones, but I think it's 270 in the second phase up behind Roach Brothers.
Yeah, and I was counting the other 230, so I guess
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
wrong, I apologize, I didn't mean to
And,
overstate it.
And I've had some meetings with the bank, and, we're gonna do a full depth analysis, but they're indicating that they'd rather see this thing go condominium.
Homeownership is the American dream.
Yeah.
It is, and this is kind of a product that we can offer the young buyers that they can't get in the market today. I mean, the single-family homes are just too much money. So this is a product that I think will appeal to the first-time buyers, And the actual, when you really stop and look at it, the actual number of affordable units doesn't change. It's just the accounting. In other words, there'll be 14 affordable units either way, whether they're apartments or they're condominiums, and 42 market units. So it's just the way the state counts them. And the town is over their 10% right now. And we're helping with their glam. I did a project last year, Red Gold. We gave the town 112 acres, counting toward that. This project, we've already owned it. We bought it from Peter Armstrong. It was 15 acres, and we're giving 9 back to the Conservation Commission. So 2/3 of it is a give back. And we're developing only 6 acres of the 15.
Is that where your friends, the turtles, are going to stay?
That's where they're gonna stay. We're gonna do a lot of work to make it a friendly place to stay, I guess. So, yeah, it's been a lot of work with those.
Is that
fellas.
really,
A lot of
it
work.
took that long to get the turtle
It's
permit?
been unbelievable. Yeah, it's been
kidding.
difficult, yeah.
Would it be a consideration to up the affordable number?
We would look at that.
Well, this is all a discussion.
Yeah.
Let's get
You're right.
the
You're right.
crux here. So Nancy, we need to schedule this within 40 days, is that correct, Bob?
30 days.
30 days. So when's
It's
that?
not a 40-day thing. 40 days is the date for you to render a decision once you've concluded your public
So we
hearing.
need to get them on within 30 days.
Yeah, you have to schedule.
Is that the 23rd?
You have to issue them a written letter saying
need
you've
them.
determined
We're
substantial.
out of time?
What?
When we don't have a meeting on the 23rd because of the Select Board and Advisory Board,
So the 22nd, what happened with that?
Of course.
Select Board has a meeting.
The applicant can extend the time for the next public hearing to
Okay.
accommodate the ZBA.
Need to just get a written extension.
We'll get a written extension from you, and then we'll go with that.
Then when's our first meeting in October? You don't know
We
off
got
the
town
top of your head,
meeting.
Nancy?
I've got September down,
That's
I'll
fair.
look at it right now.
First,
second Tuesday.
October 13th. Excuse me, 14th.
14th. That good for you guys?
Yes, it is.
All right. So we'll go October 14th, 2025, 6:30.
Great.
Right.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank
Everybody
you.
have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, so now,
Do we need to vote, or is that it?
Close it.
close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian
Brian
Murphy,
Sullivan,
aye.
aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Mac Brothers, aye.
All right,
Brian, just make sure you take a vote.
we just did.
You did, that is a substantial change?
We closed it, we have to.
We close it, now.
There's
we-
no
This is-
public
No
hearing, so
What?
it says you
Just
didn't
a-
close anything.
What's that?
So it's
There was no
just
public
voting.
hearing.
Right.
You're just
So
taking
we're
a
gonna
vote.
vote that this is a substantial change. Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye?
Brian Murphy, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Mac Brothers, aye.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the interviews. So Dan Albert has withdrawn, so everyone cross his name off.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah. So, and we never heard back from Justin Silva,
No.
so cross him off.
He doesn't have another opportunity, that's it?
And you
No,
have
I'm
to
just,
answer
I'm
this
just
tonight.
asking, yeah, I'm just asking.
Is Joe Pesovich here? No? So cross his name.
Wait, he was just
Well-
sitting right here.
Oh, he
He
is?
was just here, wasn't
Is Joe here?
he? He left?
Was it good?
Yeah, wasn't he here?
All right, then we'll leave him there.
Yeah, it is.
And then
Is that him right there?
Eric Murphy is here, right? Yep. Stephen Lynch is here. Peggy Davis is here, right?
Peggy
Thanks.
Oh, no,
Peggy
Peggy
Davis
Davis
is
is
not
not
here.
here,
No.
She's on vacation and left.
She sent
but
an
she
email.
sent an email.
Yes.
And is Mary Ann Brogan? Okay. All right, go ahead, Steve.
Steve Lynch, 50 Central Street. The members of the ZBA asked me here tonight to explain why I want to be on the Board of Appeals. I want to thank you in advance for giving me the opportunity to respond to the members of the board, and more importantly, to the residents of Marshfield. I wish to be appointed to the ZBA because the two selectmen I supported in the last elections want someone on this board they can trust. Someone who will do anything within the scope of power of this board to stop high-density housing from being built in our town. Projects like the Big Dig endanger our drinking water, and combined with other high-density housing projects similar to those behind Roach Brothers, put undue pressure on fire, police, DPW, schools, and the infrastructure of our town. They add to the already deadlocked traffic jams on Route 139. If MBTA zoning is implemented, the combined impact with the proposed apartments in the Brant Rock Overlay District will create even more congestion from Brant Rock to the Pembroke Highway ramps. Housing projects will turn our seaside community into the city that we all moved away from. My appointment by Trish Simpson and Eric Kelly to this board will ensure that they have someone on this board that has a clear directive of their policies on the issues that were central to their campaigns for election. I will ensure that policy is implemented. Past administrations have allowed the move toward the urbanization of Marshfield's many unique villages, which must come to an end. Now, with this said and made clear, I want you to know I understand that we have a housing problem. I get it. This is not a one-sided issue, but we can give relief to the housing shortage without destroying our town with housing projects. I believe we should ease zoning restrictions on building single-family homes that include ADU components. This will help to lower the cost of building single-family dwellings and help to reduce local rents. But we need higher voter turnouts at town meetings and your support to change zoning laws. I understand the problem, and I have ideas to address them. Thank you, Stephen Lynch.
Thank you, Steve. So Eric, you want to go next?
Good evening, folks. Eric Murphy, Ocean Street. I appreciate your time. So I basically volunteered, saw a sign out that said they were looking for volunteers, so I turned my name into volunteer because that's what we do. I'm interested in serving in the Zoning Board of Appeals to contribute a balanced perspective that respects both individual property owners as well as the long-term needs of the town. And I believe with my unique experience and my 53 years of living in 5 or 6 different neighborhoods in the town of Marshfield, I have a feel of what's going on. And that's about it. You guys asked me here.
Anyone have questions?
Yeah, you mentioned that you're interested in serving the town. Have you served the town in any other capacity as a volunteer, anything else in Marshfield?
Actually, I volunteered and I created the Brant Rock Village Association 20 years ago in Brant Rock, still going strong. I've also volunteered to, I've educated some of the local departments on tick-borne illnesses and how to take care of those and mitigate how to pick those up. And that's all free of charge. I donate that, as well as I have rescued or contributed in the rescue of at least 3 people from flooding in Brant Rock over the course of the 20 years. So I'm not adverse to volunteering.
You're the guy with the boat?
I am.
I mean, I think we can all pretty much say that we all know you're very active in the community, and just like Steve Lynch, you know, there's real no introduction needed. You're highly visible. We see you at town meetings, at voting, so you're very active. Whether you're serving on a board or not, you're very active. And I, for one, appreciate it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Is that it?
I just have a question. If you were in a situation where, like we have been several times, where it's a very controversial application that has come in, and the public is not for it at all, and we are here to find out the information and apply the bylaws, how would you be able to go about doing that, knowing that, you know, some of the bylaws you don't necessarily agree with? So what would be your plan to rectify that situation? Or how would you handle a situation like that?
First off, the bylaw is the bylaw, and the zoning board of appeals is here to enforce the bylaw. So straight and simple, the bylaw is the bylaw.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So Keith Wilson, are you here?
Yeah, I don't know if this is where I want to be right now. It was an interesting invite to do this. That's something I put in.
Sure.
Gentleman seems very qualified.
Yeah.
I put an application in just in general a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And just the other day, I got you want to come to a meeting and be interviewed. I didn't know it was going to be a public forum and a competition. I'm happy to talk to anyone about this, but I'm very surprised.
kinda awkward,
this is
isn't
what
it?
it's being, I really come in here innocently and go, all right, okay, all right, someone's going to ask me about why I want to be here. Yeah, I've been here 43 years. I have never had any other dealings formally with the town. I've had a couple of interactions with them in a debate over the Holly Hill development where I was the neighbor, and I was here probably 15 or 20 times every week for that meeting. So I see how you guys all work. And I was thinking, it would be kind of fun to be part of that going forward. I've been here 43 years. I had 3 children here. I wasn't born here or go through the school system, but it was an interesting opportunity to go, okay, if they're really looking for people, if you have plenty of other opportunities to interview people, fine. I am retired. I've had a business career, my whole life. But I can't offer anything other than, a good heart and a trying to do the right thing here. So, it's up to you guys.
It's not up to us, it's up to the select
Common
board.
sense is always welcome, though.
Well, that's all I can bring is common sense and some history here, and obviously wanting to support the correct growth of Marshfield.
Well, this has always been the process, it's just that we have not had more than one person at a time.
Okay, yeah, this is like,
The last
whoa,
one
if
we
this is a
had-
competition,
Yeah,
someone
the
else
last we had
who
was
have
2.
prepared statements.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything like
The
that.
last time we had this, we had 2 applicants, and that was a long time ago.
Bless you.
So
Bless you.
Okay.
normally we do this, but when Hyde and I came on the board had been evacuated.
Okay, all right.
We were.
I wouldn't
they were
quite
just-
say it's a competition, it's more of a.
It's just
coming
letting-
in and-
yeah,
all right.
Just the mere fact that you're
here, showed up, and you're
is commendable in
interested.
itself.
Thank you, No, it's just, I want to give back, and I've been here, I love the town, been here 43 years.
Yeah.
Again, 3 daughters that went through the school system.
Even if this is something you don't do, I'd highly recommend, and if it's something you do want to do. you go
Granted,
for it.
yeah, if there's some other position that, is not something that's so committed to these other people who have prepared statements, that's fine. The only other thing I did
They
want
have
to kind of
prepared
brag
statements
about
about
is
law.
I live across the street from Coast Guard Hill. And there was a big debate about, when I bought the house, it had a beautiful view. And I didn't do the wrong thing and just have the trees cut down. I went through a long process of going to the Coast Guard, having a written approval that it could be cut down. Then I hired someone with a license and cut down the trees, so I had my view back from where I bought the house in 1982. So you can imagine, it's a whole different look now. And then I forget who the selectman was a short, heavy man? It was years ago.
Do you know, Steve?
And-
Santa Claus?
No, who, Steve, could you?
And he was like, how dare you cut these trees down? They had a mark out where I cut the trees, and I went, here's the paper I have from the Coast Guard who owns the property, not Marshfield. And he goes, oh, okay, you're right. And it was literally cut and done correctly. So I know about rule following, et cetera, and that's all I'll say. If you guys find a place for me, terrific.
All right, well, we
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have a question. Sure. So you said you were in the business world, and you were retired or semi-retired. What did you do?
I was in telecom. I was a salesperson and a sales manager for several well-known telecom companies. AT&T, British Telecom, MCI in the day, and a company called ITT.
At the enterprise level?
Pardon me?
At the enterprise level? Did you
Yeah,
sell to
I
companies?
traveled basically all over the world, putting in communication satellites, not satellites, but where a company needs to communicate with their places all over the world. My companies, all four of them that I work for, were responsible for getting long lines into these countries and into these locations.
So you had to solve complex solutions. You had to create,
yeah.
ideate.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
and my last few years at AT&T was literally taking about 15 or 20 customers and dealing with every one of their problems every day. Billing, delayed installations, et cetera, et cetera. So that was my background.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, sure.
Thank you.
So I think
Do I hang around or can I go?
do whatever you want. Mary Ann is, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
I don't have a speech either.
that's fine. We saw what you wrote to us. We all read everything. What people
Yeah.
wrote to us, we read.
Yeah, we read.
Yeah, anything that was said,
Anyone
we
that
read.
submitted, we already saw what you said.
Okay.
We read keys.
Well, it would just be a same thing that I wrote.
Yeah, so well, if you want us, you can say whatever you like.
Okay, I've been on the board in Mattapoisett for 20, or I was on the board in Mattapoisett for 20 years, and 10 of them were as clerk. I know the laws, I'm familiar with the Mass General laws and the local zoning laws. I am sure they're different than here, but they're pretty much,
They're all very similar. You just, some don't have as good a toolbox as other towns.
right, and
We're kind of in that mix.
I've had roots here since 1920. My family goes back a long way of
Wow.
having a history here. And I love Marshfield. It's my favorite place in the world. And I know that there needs to be I built 2 homes, and I've also been next to people who have built homes. So I've been on both sides of the table when it comes to building. And I just think my experience would be something maybe that you would consider.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
When you were in Mattapoisett,
Yes.
did you have, during your tenure on the board, did you have any 40B applications
Yes.
that came in front of you?
Yes, from Suffolk Construction and Fish Construction. They didn't go through.
Why?
Why didn't they? Because the part
Just
where...
curious how that.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. The part that they wanted to put it on was, it was like right by the village, and they wanted to put a building like 2 football fields long. And I was one of those not in my backyard people, so I memorized all the zoning for the comprehensive permit. And part of it said that the construction company has to open their books to the public to make sure that they're not making over 15% of what they charge. And they happened to have Suffolk Construction, and they had Fish Construction. And so when Mr. Fish found out that the public were allowed to go through both his books. He didn't like that, so he withdrew. But
Dawn didn't get denied, he withdrew the project.
he was very angry and withdrew.
Good job.
Now, you said you were on the board down there for 20 years. How
Yes.
long have you been a full-time resident in Marshfield now?
I was a full-time resident before I moved to Mattapoisett. Then I raised my kids there, then, but I've always had a house here. I bought a house when I was 25 and lived here full-time. Then I went down there, but I stayed here in the summer and weekends. And I've been a full-time resident now for 5 years.
Wow.
So registered to vote here.
Yes.
Now, one of the other, when you mentioned earlier about not in my backyard, and one of the other people that are applying to get onto this board, it made comment about the MBTA zoning. Did you have any thought on that?
Do I have a thought on it? Yes, I do.
Not in my backyard?
So would you be able to be objective? I mean, I know you're in Mattapoisett, and I get all that.
I've been on the, okay, I was on the board for 20 years. I've never, my integrity has never been questioned. I've never been, I've never had any,
I'm not
I guess-
questioning your integrity, I'm just.
no. Well, you're supposed to ask them about my integrity.
I just want to know about, that's not my job to question your integrity.
No, I'm just saying that when I was on the board there, at one point, a friend came on and wanted to vote, to have a sign, and I turned it down, and I was playing tennis with her the next day. So, I think that my job isn't to tell people what to do, it's to take the zoning bylaw and to decide whether it applies to the individual or for the betterment of the community. And that's, I voted for things I didn't like.
Yucky job.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you applied the law to the facts? and
Excuse
you-
me?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
You applied the law to the facts.
Correct.
And you made your decisions based on Massachusetts law and the local bylaw.
Yes.
Rather than coming in with your mind made up.
Exactly. I don't think I have the right to let my personal opinion influence somebody, because building a house to somebody is very important. I mean, they save years for it. So, I mean, who am I to
Probably the
say?
most expensive thing you own or have in your.
Right.
It's everything you got on the line.
So just because I don't like their house doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to buy, build it.
All right, as long as it meets what it's supposed to meet.
That's what the
That's-
Constitution's all about.
Well, that's what I'm all about.
Thank
All
God.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I
Anyone
done?
else? Yeah,
Oh,
I think,
you-
anyone else have questions? Thank
No,
you.
I mean, they roughly got everything I was going to ask anyway, so
Okay,
All right,
thanks for coming in.
thank you.
Thank you.
that's everybody. So you guys all have a sheet in front of you. So where I would start is, so Dan Albert withdrew, cross him off. We never heard back from Justin Silva, so I would cross him off.
Brian,
Yeah,
can you just mention Heidi and Brian too?
what's that?
You have
Yeah.
Heidi and Brian are
I'm
on.
going to get to that.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'd like to ask them questions.
So Joe Pasovich didn't show up, but we
I
can.
thought he was here.
I didn't see him. So then, as far as Heidi and Brian go, Heidi and I have been on the board the longest. This is the first time this has ever happened. So for me, in the 11-plus years we've been here, 11 years Heidi's been here, is we've never had people put in to be reappointed and then other people also looking to be appointed. So this hasn't happened before. So every time there's been there's an actual vacancy, someone had left, so we needed to get a new person. And like I said, in the past, I think we've only had 2 applicants at one time and that's why we did the interviews. So for me, this hasn't happened before, but I think if Heidi and Brian have both put in for reappointment, is correct? I mean, I think this is just me
I
speaking.
missed that because of a
Okay, so
sports announcement.
Heidi and Brian have both put in for reappointment.
They did.
They haven't dealt with this before. So I don't know how the board feels, but me personally, you know, of course, I'd like to have my board members back. I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
I would agree with that. I would agree. I think we have some excellent people that have
It's
stepped
just
up to
that
the plate and
We've
want to
never
do
had
this.
this happen, so it's new. Does anyone else feel that way?
No, I agree with Larry.
100%.
All right, so
Well,
what I
can
would
I-
do.
can I weigh in on
No, we don't
that?
want you to speak. Go ahead.
Zoning is not something that you just know because you were born. Zoning is something that takes years to learn. And as we have seen, there are lots of lawyers who have law degrees that could probably spell zoning if you spotted them the vowels, but they don't know zoning. Just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean you know zoning. Zoning takes years to master, if ever anyone can master zoning. And I think Bob knows a thing or two about zoning. I think Bob might agree with that. It is complex. It is driven both by laws and then by the facts that are presented. It takes a long time just to get a working knowledge of zoning. And then you've got the Marshfield zoning bylaw that interplays with Massachusetts general laws. It takes a long time to figure all of that out. So the idea of someone being interested in zoning, I think is fantastic. The idea of people wanting to learn more about zoning, I welcome. My kids are sick of hearing about zoning, but I talk about it all the time. And my son is actually now a land use lawyer, probably as a result of it being contagious. But
Or childhood trauma.
the interest that the public has in learning about zoning, I think is fantastic. I'm glad that we have as many people interested, and I hope they remain interested. But it's not something that you can just walk into the ZBA and then start knowing everything there is to know about zoning. And I'm sure that Heidi would agree with that. It takes a long time to figure things out. A lifetime ago, I went to law school. I was on the ZBA in Situate for years, and it took a long time to figure out just what I was doing. To the extent that I know anything about what I'm doing. But I just think that this board is best served by having people knowledgeable serving on the board. And I hope that the Board of Selectmen, in the interest of what's best for the town of Marshfield, in the interest of avoiding litigation, keeps people that know what they're doing on the Board of Appeals so that the town is able to avoid unnecessary lawsuits due to the board making knowledgeable decisions versus making decisions that maybe do not apply the law to the facts. So I put my application in to be reappointed, and I am hoping to be reappointed.
Thank you, Brian. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I mean, seeing that Brian and I have been on the longest, I am proud of my voting record on the Zoning Board of Appeals because I take it very seriously. I look at the properties, I look at the bylaws, I look at the applications, and although I have been a solo person not voting for something that everybody else has, I stand by my votes, every one of them, except the very first one that I had was Mr. Johnson with Frank, and this poor man just could not get this little thing over his house, and it haunts me to this day. So I do take it very seriously, and I do think that you need to know what you're doing. And I like the Zoning Board of Appeals because, as Brian has stated, it's not a political board. It's just to follow the bylaws, to follow the rules, take into consider the application. Like, I don't agree with some of our bylaws, but I like to be able to work with the planning board to be able to do something to change them properly versus just voting no or yes on something that just shouldn't be. So, I mean, I would love to be able to continue. I put my application in, my Corey Foreman, like Brian did. You know, but I do appreciate everybody coming out, and we'll just see what happens, and I hope that, you know, Select Board makes a good choice.
And I would ask everybody on this board, have you voted for something that maybe personally you didn't like?
Yeah.
And I think we all have, because that's what the Constitution calls for.
I agree.
You can't come in like, that guy, he wouldn't play my kid at second base. He's not gonna put a deck on his house over my dead body, that rat Fink. I saw he had a Dukakis sticker on his car. You know, that's no good. You know, you can't come in with preconceived ideas of who people are. You've got to say, what does the zoning bylaw say? What do Massachusetts general laws say? Does the application fit within the four corners of the law? And if so, it doesn't matter who that applicant is. And then you vote according to the law. So, you know, I hope that that continues. And I have been, it's been an honor to serve on this board and with all of you, and I hope that I am permitted to continue.
The last thing I'd like to say is that I support Heidi and Brian getting reappointed, but I think it's fantastic that we have at least 3 candidates that are highly interested in the board, that I think any one of them would be qualified for. And, yeah, they may not be, you know, land use attorneys, but have a lot of common sense, have love and dedication to the community, and I think the temperature is changing and people are getting involved. And as Brian stated earlier, you know, this has been years since we've had 2 people apply for a board, let
But
alone...
never over a existing, that's the
Yeah.
hardest part here.
It's amazing.
There were an opening.
Yeah, and I like the fact that that is occurring.
No.
But there never has been.
Right.
Everyone has left, and then we had an applicant. Well, that's why the interviews, we did a few in the beginning,
Well,
but,
Mac wanted conservation.
yeah, I know, I said no. But, no, it's just, we haven't had this
Somewhere
situation
there's a
since I
skunk
did.
cabbage crying.
Yeah. So I have a different, I mean, I have an added perspective here. In that, number one, you know, as the new guy on the board, the newest person on the board, it's the value of understanding this business and the tenure and the experience that you get from doing this really can't be replaced, right? You've got 20 years, you've got 11 years. It's hard for me to say that that is easily replaceable. Now, we actually had a candidate with another 20 years' experience, and that was very attractive to me.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I've led high-performing teams in a career that spanned almost 35 years at this point. And the teams that I have worked in and amongst and led and been part of have had, the most successful ones have had 2 things in common. And it's something that I think this team has built. And that is a shared sense of mission, because we now all have figured out where we are and who each other are and what we want to do and how we want to continue to apply the bylaws to the cases that are brought to us. So number one is a shared sense of mission, but the other thing, which is really hard to get, is trust. And while we may not agree, and while the diversity of opinion on this board is pretty strong at times, I trust every one of you. And I think we've built that level of trust, and it'd be really hard to break that and bring something new in. And that's my perspective. We have gotten to that point, and it would be a shame to lose that diversity of opinion and to break that trust.
I agree, so that's why we haven't had this happen before. In my opinion, you know, I would like to recommend that we recommend Heidi and Brian first, but elections have consequences, so then I would like for each person to say, whatever candidate you see as the top candidate, give them a 1, your second choice of candidate. So we have 6 candidates beyond Heidi and Brian and the ones that aren't participating. So cross Heidi out, cross Brian out. That would leave us with, and Dan Albert withdrew. We haven't heard anything from,
Do you want to read what Peg had to say?
well, we all read it. So I'm just saying, I'm getting rid of the people that we can get rid of. And then Justin Silver, we haven't heard back from him. So then that leaves us with Mary Ann Brogan, Peggy Davis, Stephen Lynch, Eric Murphy, Joseph Pesovich, and Keith Wilson. So that's
Joe
one.
Pesovich didn't show up tonight.
But he put in his application.
So we-
Justin's is older, and did you ever hear, you heard back from Joe Pesovich, right?
I have not.
Oh, you did not?
I had already crossed them out, I thought.
He was at our last meeting, and I heard.
Well, I'm gonna let you know. So what you can do is say, you're gonna go we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. You can either give them a 1, a 2, through 6, or you can say you don't support them. NS, no support. So we can at least forward that information to the select board. All right?
So just for the record, so Joe and Justin, we're still going to comment.
I guess we can- well, we don't know
Because they put
anything.
their applications in though,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Right? Okay, so I think that's only fair.
So it's 7 people. So then what you're gonna do is put, so we have 7. So you're gonna give them a 1 through 7, how you would like to see the select board pick them if they don't pick Heidi and Brian, because elections have consequences, and this is where we are. All right? So just go through your list, and I have JJ's already. If it's, if it's no support, it's no support. If it's a null set, it's, null set, meaning you don't have an opinion either way, but you have listed who you want up the top, all right?
So Keith was bumping himself out, right?
I don't know what
Mr.
Keith was
Was
doing.
Keith- was he- did
It
he
sounded
wanna
like
be
he wanted to go
part-
on
I kept
another
him in,
board.
I
Does
wasn't
anyone,
sure.
I just,
mean,
just
he would be-
pick, we interviewed the people we could interview. We have the information we need that was emailed to us, so I would just go from there.
I feel like I'm on Jeopardy.
Was that?
How many did you do?
Thank you.
Well, I did the first one that's good. Now the person's here, Heidi's here, this person here.
Oh,
She didn't her.
What did you do?
I just put check marks.
Well, you got to call them 1 to 7. Or
But
if you
this-
don't get to 7, it's 1 to 3, 1 to 4, whatever you come to.
All right, 7 inclusive of Joseph Pesovich.
So let me go down the
Justin
list.
Silva.
Mary Ann Brogan
Yep.
is counted.
Okay.
Peggy Davis is counted. Stephen Lynch is counted. Eric Murphy is counted. Joseph Pesovich is counted. Justin Silva is counted. And Keith Wilson is counted.
Okay, then I did it right.
Who set the AC tonight?
I don't know.
Is it sealed?
I don't know, I'm supposed to sit.
You guys are going in. You're the one.
If I could,
Okay. I didn't, that's from
You're the
Larry.
different one. Oh,
Okay.
I don't mind, I'm comfortable with my votes.
I don't know if I know either. This is kind of weird. It is weird. It's kind of weird. Do we just?
Larry, did you pick her as a 1? X. Okay. All right. Do I have your sheet there? Yep.
We're not doing us. We're not
No, not you.
Yeah, we're not counting us as like that. We're just doing the other.
Oh, I thought we had to count you guys.
Oh, I think he's saying aside from that, add the second choice would be, right? Is that what it was? So you're 7, like,
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1,
Here's what I did.
4, 5, 6, 7.
I just kept,
I see what you're saying. Well, I did the 1 and 2
right.
for that, and then you went, so
Then-
3.
Then I went in my
Oh, I see what
order.
you're saying.
Do.
Oh, goodness.
That's what I did.
Kidding me?
Do we have a building code about it being too cold in places?
No, this is perfect, perfect temperature.
I wish.
When it's not winter?
I get frozen out of my damn office every day.
Can you read it?
Is that a 4?
What?
Is that a 4?
Yeah.
Where's he from? Where is he? Ooh. Where's he from? It's a party.
It's usually not a party involving parents.
How old is he? How old? Your oldest?
Old? No, I don't know them.
I'm way past that. My baby's gonna be 29 next week.
No, we just turned 25, so.
Your baby's 25.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
I got started late.
My baby's 8.
My youngest will be 29. I have 4. And she lives in Plymouth, so.
It's too I'm usually not this cold. It is because
That's what you do. Highest is 1. Did you hit the better? Like your first choice is 1, your second choice is 2. Is that how you did it too?
Yeah. After you two.
Yeah.
I did, but I did already done 1 and 2 for you two, so then I went 3, 4.
So, you want to write these down, Nancy?
Sure.
So Mary Ann Brogan got 5 votes for first, and 1 vote for 5, so it doesn't matter. For 5, but it doesn't really matter, because she has 1, 2, 3, 4 votes out of 6. Peggy Davis got 3 votes for 4, and 1 vote for 7. Steve Lynch got 1 vote for 2. 2 votes for 2 and 1 vote for 5. Eric Murphy got a 2, 2 2s, 2 3s, and a 5. And Justin Silva got a 4, a 3, and a 6. And then Keith Wilson got a 3. It's going to be the total of these numbers when I tell you. So it's Keith Wilson got a 3, 3 2s, sorry, 2 3s, 3 2s, and a 4. So obviously, after Brian and Heidi, Mary Ann Brogan got 5 ones. So she would get the first place. Second would go to,
So Keith.
yeah, Keith Wilson has second place. He got 2 twos, he got 2 twos, he got a 5, he got 3s. So I guess third place would go to Eric Murphy. So like fourth place would go to Stephen Lynch. And yes, Peggy would get fifth. And then Joe Pasovich has no support.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Joe Pasovich has no support. And it looks like if there was, I guess, Justin Silva would be sixth. Did I do Peggy Davis yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she had the fourth.
Not in the ranking, I mean, you did numbers, but not.
Oh, I didn't rank her, so she would be actually in front of,
You said fifth.
fifth. So Peggy's fifth. Justin would be sixth. And that's it.
Joe would be 7, that's the 7th one.
Well, there is no seven, he has no support.
Remember, just to put that name down, you know, that it was 0.
All right,
I think you have to
so
do that.
we can vote on that as we agreed on, to send that to the select board.
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Heidi Coney, aye. Jean Lee, aye.
Mac Brothers, aye.
Thank you. All right, now we'll go into our review of the board's minutes. Grover sent in his information, that what he'd like to update.
I want to thank everybody for coming out.
Not the
Oh,
minutes.
Thank you all for coming out. If you want to leave, it's, oh, you can come listen to our
This
minutes.
is a public hearing, right?
Yeah, you can listen to our minutes.
Public comment, right?
Yeah.
Do you want something, does he have something?
Do you need to say something before we start?
Well, if you're gonna do reorganization of your rules,
You're going to give us some input, right?
that's what I want to speak to.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so, well, we'll let you go first, Steve.
Is that,
We'll let you go first.
well, let me hear your conversation first before I can comment on the rules.
All right. Well, I thought you had comments to make.
I do have comments to make on it, yes.
So, what do you guys see? Andrew, is that the one you typed?
No.
No, this is the current regulations.
Oh, I thought you taped up the,
I typed them out, but they have a couple of edits on them. I can put
Oh,
them.
well, I didn't.
yeah, put those up because you can just point out the edits.
You can do a split screen, right, so we can just compare them?
Well, it's the same, it's just his edits, all he has to do is identify his edits. It's these ones here. Yeah, that one, that's the one I have. So the change I wanted to make was I wanted to make sure that all voting members, meaning whether you're an associate or the chair, everyone, we're all equal here. So the two associates, when it says the regular members shall elect, I'd like to remove the regular members. Andrew, if you can, I don't know if you can do that.
What section you in?
Can you just
point out where on the, what page?
Okay, A, organization A, members and officers. It says the regular members.
Yeah.
This should just say, remove the word regular, it should say the members. Yeah. Shall elect. Anyone else have add-ons?
What was that, Brian? Members, officers?
It's under A, where
Members under organization, which is the first paragraph.
in A.
First, then under I, members and officers.
Got it.
The second sentence reads, "The regular members shall elect annually." Eliminate the word regular.
Okay.
So it just says, "The members shall elect annually from their number, a chair, vice chair, and clerk."
Because everyone should be treated the same, whether you're an associate member or, the chair.
I had a couple of thoughts. These aren't, not proposing that these are proposals, but I did have a couple of thoughts.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
So, let me just throw mine on. On that, while we're here, on that same, it says, shall consist of, 5 regular and 2 associate members as may be appointed by the select board. I don't know if we have a view on this, but my view, if we're already going through this interview process, let's codify it. So, may be appointed by the select board from a list of recommended candidates as interviewed by the board. Number 1. I don't know if, again, maybe stretching too far, but at least
I
if
think
we're going to do that,
we
codify
get-
it.
They're the ones that direct us, so they're the ones that say they got a list, it goes to them, they send it to us, and then they ask us to interview the individuals.
Sure, and I just said, let's codify it, that they select from a list of recommended candidates as interviewed by the board. That's it, just like what we just did.
All right. Like
That's a
I
thought.
said in the past.
Yeah, they're
We've had,
the appointing authority.
Yeah, but doesn't mean that they are the organizing authority.
Yeah, I would guess, and it's not, I don't know, but I would guess the select board would be hesitant to relinquish the authority they have to appoint members of the board. Granted, they can delegate to the ZBA as they have.
I was just trying to codify what we were just going through, that was
Yeah.
it. Whatever the wording is that does, just
Well,
say.
do we need that wording, or is it already because the select board sends them to us?
Sorry, Kitty.
Oh, do we need that wording, or does that already exist because the select board sends them to us anyways to interview?
It already exists.
Yeah.
All right. This may be moot points, but under the powers and duties of the chair, it says the chair shall vote and be recorded on all matters coming before the board. Maybe this is just sharpening the pencil too much, but unless impaired by a conflict of interest, right?
That's all of us have that. anyway.
Yeah, so, but, it just, whenever I see a word "shall" in a legal document, it doesn't give you any wiggle room, is my reading.
If you're
Well, yes, but
recused.
it's incumbent on the chairman, if there's a conflict, to recuse him or herself. That's,
Yeah,
Like all of us, yeah.
Like all of us.
Yeah,
So
that's
like-
right.
Like I said, again, as an associate member or the chair, there's no difference in the power of those two individuals. That associate member holds the same voting power as the chair. So we're all equals here.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the sharing, the power, I'm just saying, just calling out the fact that,
But that applies to all of us.
Yeah.
So if we need to recuse, we have to fill out the paperwork and do what we're supposed to
I
do.
think there's a typo in section D, on the last sentence of section D. And it says, if the clerk is absent or otherwise able to perform their duties. I think that
Unable.
meant unable.
Right.
It is.
I believe there.
Add that
On the
in,
new
thank you.
one, not on the old one.
And I believe there is a typo under section 2D in the second paragraph. I think instead of "the be accepted as a filing," I think it's "to be accepted as a filing." Is that right? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
And then I didn't know if this was our opportunity to review the fee structure, and if that was something that we wanted to do.
Yes, this is, if it's
And
in
then the last was,
40.
because the Exhibit 1 is attached to these rules and regulations, we actually have a a Form 2E that has now been superseded by the protected right to have an auxiliary accessory dwelling unit.
Yep.
So do we need this form at all? My less government leanings are always saying, if we can get rid of some part of it, let's get rid of some part of it.
I think that
Should we leave it in?
you can
and-
still get an accessory apartment for larger than 900 square feet.
It would just by special permit, not as of right.
Right. It's
Okay.
not as of right.
So
Just-
probably should leave it in.
So probably should leave it then. Okay.
Bob, is these zoning bylaws, do they govern 40B applications, or do we have separate 40B rules and regs
You have separate 40B rules and regulations.
for, that would govern the fee structure?
Yes.
Because we can change those as we see, when we get into them. If we get into a
But you
40B.
remember your fees on comprehensive permits, they have to be equivalent to what you do with other multifamily residential.
We're restricted.
Yeah, well, I am not opposed to jacking up the fees on multifamily residential applications. There's plenty of money to be made out there for these folks, and they ought to be covering
I agree.
the impact to Marshfield Town Hall administrative costs with their applications. The fee ought to be causally, or there ought to be a nexus
As long
on the
as
fee.
low and moderate income housing is treated the same as market rate housing, there's no issue.
Yeah.
Changing the fee structure.
How would we go about determining what would be a fair and reasonable fee, though?
No, that's not really.
I do not, off the top of my head, know what the fee structure is on the South Shore, but what I could do, we're meeting again on the 9th? By the 9th, I'll get the application fees. I'll do a little homework. I'll get the application fees for all the surrounding towns.
Nancy, do you happen to have any of
Marshalls
those?
are immediate,
No.
they're in the middle.
They're in the ballpark?
Yeah. But there are towns that are significantly higher.
Yeah. We went through this in Situate when I was on the board, and what we found is that Cohasset was charging like 3 times what Situate was charging.
Right. Cohasset, Hingham, I think, are the highest.
Yeah, yeah. So I just think, we ought to, we're all in the same ballpark. We're all dealing with the same developer pool, so the fees ought to be all related. I mean, the impact, when you come in with like the place up behind Roach Brothers,
Yep.
that has an impact on Nancy and the other folks at Town Hall.
Absolutely. But I'm not for fees for a single residential home or a residence.
No, I,
Totally.
1 and
for-
2 family homes would be left
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
ADUs would be left alone.
Yep.
It's multifamily.
I mean, you're talking about
Just
folks
wanna
that are
make that
making
clear.
tens of millions of dollars.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think they can pony up the fee.
I would agree.
And they're not reinvesting in Marshfield Little League, That money's leaving town.
Now, reading through here, I'm not seeing anything unless I missed it. The length of an appointment, is that
That's done by the,
selectmen, could we make a
that's
recommendation?
not up to us.
Could we make a recommendation to them for
We
the length of the?
can't put it in our, we can't have it in our
In here?
regulations.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
up to them. Andrew, do you have anything to add?
The only things that I had was the copies, this actually, the manner of filing, which was just changing some stuff so that we would have digital copies filed.
Okay.
Right now, it's like 10 paper copies or something like that. And it's just in an effort to go a little bit more paperless and digital is to specify that it should be one paper copy to the clerk, one paper copy to the ZBA, and one paper copy, I think, to the building department, and then the rest of it is gonna be just digital.
Andrew, did you see Grover's comments?
No.
Grover mentioned words to that effect, but he also said something along the lines of, it would be helpful if applicants were required to meet with the zoning enforcement officer before they came in front of the board. And before I say anything about that, I'd like to ask you how you feel about that.
Do you want the work?
Well, so, I mean, this language was already here. It's recommended that all applications be reviewed by but it didn't say building commissioner, it just said zoning enforcement officer and the zoning aide. So that's been in there since 2000. I think it was even in there beforehand. So I encourage that constantly.
I was gonna say, I've heard you
People come in
encourage
and
that
meet with me
100 times.
beforehand.
So it's not what Grover...
It's not a shall?
What Grover was saying is not that it's a recommendation, that it is a shall.
Did you see that?
Right,
These are his comments.
it's more,
Yeah.
It's kind of highlighted what he said.
So-
I think he's,
So if you're going to do it, is it going to be required for them to do that, or just suggested?
well, Bob, in most towns,
Because if we have
don't they have a zoning
staffing-
determination?
Most towns now use a referral form, which comes from the building inspector usually. The building inspector reviews a proposed application or plan for compliance. It says, as of right, special permit, variance, site plan approval, depending on whether it's commercial or in what overlay districts apply. And then you have to go to the ZBA or the planning board, depending on whether it's a ZBA special permit or a planning board special permit. That's the norm.
And I think one of the benefits of this would be that the applicant wouldn't, sometimes they don't need the relief that they've applied for, and there's been publication, there's been the whole...
What's going on now is a lot of people try to come in and fill out these applications by themselves. And some of them have engineers that get some help from engineers that have been here before. And then even a fewer have lawyers these days, which is completely fine. It's their option to come in with or without a lawyer. But the reality is, some people come in and they've applied for a variance, and you all ask them, can you please explain why you're entitled to a variance? And they have no idea, other than they filled out a sentence on a finding form saying that there are other homes in the neighborhood that look like mine. And that's not a justification for a variance. So I think the referral form would be good, because I think it would be an opportunity for Andrew and/or Nancy to tell them, you need to get some professional assistance, either through, there's a whole bunch of people out there that aren't lawyers, they're not engineers, but they've built a lot of things, and they've been to the school of hard knocks, and a lot of them even know what you got to say in order to get a variance, or what you got to say in order to get a special permit, and whatever we can do to encourage people to get some help, because, technically, we can't give advice as to what someone's going to do, and if they rely on our advice and they get it wrong, it's not our fault, because you never had a right to rely on that advice to begin with. That's hard for people to accept, and...
Well, it is, and a lot of people self-decline, meaning that they fill...
Well, no, they expect when they come in and they meet with Andrew or Nancy that they're going to tell them everything perfect every time, and they can rely on it, and if you all look at it and you see something differently, or I do, or Andrew does, or Greg Geeman does, or Karen Horn does, creates a whole bunch of problems. And we haven't had a lot of that, but it happens enough that, I think these referral forms would be a really good...
So can they be put on the system, like the building permit system that you kind of have, that it'll automatically get bumped over to zoning if they put something in, that way it'll eliminate a lot?
does that with their permit system.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Hanover, you got to meet with the planner.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, it's a lot more work when it comes to like, you already have like.
You know, the one thing I can tell you we see all the time are incomplete applications. And we do schedule, because we try to be convenient to people, hearings without their stuff coming in, and it's coming in, you know, even the night of the hearings. And in a lot of towns, they won't even schedule for a hearing until you get your application complete.
Yeah,
Well, in the past, we've had to be in by Thursday, meaning Wednesday.
I mean, we try to be accommodating, and there's nothing wrong with being accommodating to people,
All these
but
people are trying to do this thing on their own, but you know, it's not Nancy's job to look at what they answered, if they answered.
it is not. I mean,
Self-declined.
we have people coming in with a pencil sketch of their additions.
Right.
And Andrew's never going to give them a building permit for that. But in the same respect, they're saying that they meet the setback requirements, and nothing they've got on their plan is, you know, actually to scale. And
I think there's a balancing test here between being accommodating to a homeowner, an unsophisticated homeowner, and then making Nancy's life a living hell. And we got to weigh the equities here. And I think in the interest of keeping Nancy sane, we ought to hold the homeowners to not an unreasonable standard, but I think a reasonable standard, where they need to check certain boxes before their application is considered to be complete. So if they're doing anything that's going to impact a setback, they have to have a plan stamped by a professional surveyor or a professional engineer as a threshold matter.
Right.
And if they're doing anything involving a structure that impacts a setback, they have to have an engineered plan or something stamped by an architect or a designer, you know.
I agree. I mean, we should have application, findings, planned by a PE or PLS, a copy of their deed or written letter of authority if the person is an agent for the owner. And, you know, I mean, that's why when I do those zoning memos, I always list out what's in there, what isn't in there.
Yeah.
So that you can always use that if you want. But
On the sketches, I do tell them that they will need a formal plan for the building permit, but people don't want to spend the money on an architect.
You're gonna get
The
denied.
plan's done if they're gonna get.
I mean, it is
Yeah,
a
but you know,
catch-22.
but the truth is, from my perspective, we don't deny folks. We're like, okay, well, you know, this is, you know, drawn on the back of a cereal box, but, you know, in order to get your building permit, you're gonna actually have to spend some money. I think that we bend over backwards to accommodate people, but we make more work for everybody. And at the end of the day, they have to do it. They have to do it to get their building permit. Just
Special
They
permits,
do,
I
but
agree
a
with
special permit, but if you're a homeowner, and you're coming in to do an addition, and this is the first addition you built, you don't do this every day, and the architect tells you they need 10
That's why
grand.
you
But
almost need the professional help.
Yeah,
Unless Andrew does a zoning
if they have the
determination, you
means,
can get
first of
an
all, if they have the
idea.
means to be a
And he-
homeowner in Marshfield,
Yep.
and they're doing an addition, they have the means to hire somebody to come up with something that's not a hand-drawn sketch.
Andrew, can you?
And I also tell people that they need to meet with Andrew, and they don't always do that. And then we do find out later that they didn't need zoning. Could we put the referral form as a requirement before? Like, make that on the list of all of the instructions?
Like,
So Andy,
that's
you
part
can-
of the
It's step
application
one.
package,
Step one.
is that zoning determination is part of the application package, listing what part of the bylaw they're seeking relief from, what, like Bob said, special permit, variance, appeal.
Is that something you
Site
can-
plan approval, whatever it is, and under what section of bylaw.
So how much more work, I mean,
We putting on
realistically?
you?
Yeah, like, how much more work? I mean, you already have a short staff right now. I mean, I'm,
That's not, and I do that already,
All
like
right.
that, and that's what I.
So is this something you could add to the website?
Yeah, for creating a thing on the.
the template is
permit
easy,
app,
the template is
literally
easy.
half an hour.
But Andrew's looking at all these before every meeting anyways, so
by
he's
that
just doing
time,
it
they're already
sooner than he
at the
would
meeting.
normally do it.
Right, so I have a thing about them coming in, they don't have a complete application, but yet they're getting put, you know, they're going down and getting stamped, and now that they're on the agenda. I think that that should not be the case. I don't know what happens in the middle, and I do think there needs to be a checklist. And if all your stuff is not submitted and they haven't gone through, they don't get to be on the agenda. That's how I feel about it. I don't know
And
if that's wrong.
I also added the Thursday to the list of instructions because we do get things Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
6 o'clock, someone's emailing me something, or they're just bringing it to the meeting and you guys have never seen it.
I just don't think it's doing the town any justice if we don't have proper time to review everything.
Absolutely.
And I do think that it's important for there to be a checklist, like, I did this, I did that, right on the application, the referral thing, and I just don't think they should even be on the agenda, or they automatically get postponed till the next meeting, if they
that's
don't
why-
have all their stuff.
So what you're saying with the zoning determination, that would be done prior to anyone applying for anything? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So who's the wordsmith?
Bob?
Adding a zoning determination to our regulations.
Well, I mean, it's not,
I can
it's not too different than what Grover
What's all right,
said.
yeah, that is what Grover said.
Yeah, just
You
wasn't
just
a,
say prior to filing with the board for,
You listening?
Voting
Listening
relief.
with you?
there
Prior
shall
to
be,
filing with the board,
there shall be a required meeting with the building commissioner to
there shall be a
obtain
required meeting
a
with the
zoning
building
referral.
commissioner.
You know why? Because it's like, some people come here and they're like, you don't need to even be here, and it's awful, because they waited this
Wordsmith it
long,
yourself.
and it's terrible. You feel like a jerk sitting there like, you don't even have to be here.
well, I feel worse on the, to me, it's
Poor
it's
homeowners.
the other, it's the worst. It's when they walk in and they're presenting stuff, here, look at this. I'm like, dude, I literally spend hours over the weekend reading through all this stuff and visiting the houses and looking at the
Looking at
bylaws.
everything, and
and-
now.
Yeah, I spent
You know.
Sunday driving around.
I do. I go and look at every house. I look at every project. And like, don't just come in and just, here we are, surprise.
I do think it needs to be in print that if you don't have all your submittals, then you will be postponed to the next meeting. Because I think they need to
Well,
know what the
continue. Well,
consequence,
that's what-
continued. I think it
We do
needs,
that, we do that a lot.
we don't, actually.
What I
We used to do it more.
ideally-
We were,
We do it.
we used to do
Ideally,
it more.
we're doing things in one meeting, because all the applications, by the time they get to our meeting, they are complete. But what happens is,
The road to get there.
the Tuesday night comes around, and then they're like, oh, yeah, well, I gave that to Nancy at, 5:45. You don't have that?
Yeah, that shouldn't be.
And it's for their protection as well, because if they don't get it right and someone wants to appeal it just because it wasn't done right, then that's just more money that's costing them as well. And I also think that our application stuff should be like, where it says right here, instructions sheet and other forms will be available at the office of the board or online at the Board of Appeals webpage, just so they can, that's right there all in one spot. That's under submission requirements.
And I think we should use a typewriter to write all this like the original one was.
I've got a 1938 Royal I can use.
I have two of them from the 30s. One's from the 20s. There's no way to have those fixed anymore. That
There was
place
a
in
guy-
Quincy.
there was a guy in Quincy.
He's gone.
Jeez,
He fixed both of mine. He used to re-ribbon them. Sad.
now you're bumming me out.
He's gone. Mine were, I had mine fixed, they haven't been used, so they safely work. I have one that has I think it's the A or something, it's that double weird thing.
Yeah.
The only way to, I didn't want to do it. Because then it takes away the original. Of course, I'm the one.
You're a lunatic.
So the other thing that Grover had mentioned was on section 2D, was just the idea of just written generally fine, but holding people to the standard. What's funny is that when I was looking through this, I had one thing that popped out at me, and that's under D, Part 4, the last of that page where it says, "The plot plan shall also show the location of buildings on adjacent properties within 50 feet of the property lines." I'm like,
And the additions for that, too.
and I'm like, I maybe less than half of the plans I've reviewed actually show other buildings from adjacent properties on it.
I was thinking that it should show the wetlands, topography, patio buildings within 20 feet of the.
And that would be really helpful.
What?
Oh, we had our
Bear
wordsmith.
a determination from the building commissioners and enforcement of.
Zoning determination. It doesn't, it doesn't make sense. Form shall bear a determination. It should say, prior to making any filing with the board, a zoning determination form.
That's,
It's up above.
that's right up, that's the manner of filing.
Okay.
It's required that all applicants
Okay.
meet with the building commissioner and zoning aid and receive a zoning determination prior to filing
Okay,
with the town.
that's
clerk.
fine.
Then it references the submission requirements, and then I'm adding a submission requirement of
That additional form.
Additional
Okay.
form.
zoning determination.
A form bearing the determination from the building inspector regarding the type of zoning relief and associated sections. Yeah, a form.
A form, okay, yeah.
A form bearing a
I
determination.
was just going by what's with the next two.
So can
The
we add
2001.
that the
I
instructions?
can get, you can live with that.
Was that?
I can live with that.
Okay.
So should we
Thank you,
add,
Andrew.
the instruction sheet and other forms will be available at the office of the Board of the Building Department and online
This will be all
on the
online.
website?
Yeah, so basically what I'll do is I'll make the form online.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, so
it'll
they'll
be an
see.
online-
But do we need to have that in our rules, that just so it's clear, it's going to be on both places, as we're putting everything out there? That's my question.
Sure.
Wow, digital transformation in process.
This gentleman had some comments.
Well, we're gonna be done, he wants us to
And then
finish whatever
the other
we're
one
doing.
here, under submissions, that it said, D, submission requirements, and then it has, at the public hearing, the board will discuss and make its decision on the basis of the plan submitted at the time of filing, except where the plans in question have been revised after site plan review, or where the board shall condition otherwise determined for good cause shown.
Heidi, you lost me on that one.
On the bottom, it says,
What
the
section?
last sentence and, under submission requirements, it says, so it's on it's on the third page, same page that we're working on, isn't it? No, it's not, it's where we were talking
So
about.
section D, submission requirements.
Yeah, and so then, where it says, the site, sorry, my hand's in the paper, site plan review, or where the board shall condition otherwise determined for good cause shown. So it says, have been revised after site plan review, or where the board shall condition otherwise shall determine for good cause shown.
Where is this? I'm sorry.
I don't see this.
It's over here.
What page?
Submission requirements, so it's 1, 2, 3. So manner of filing,
Yeah.
and then D, submission requirements. Do I
Yeah.
have a different page than everybody else?
Yeah, you're on the,
What number are you on?
It's
Are
no,
you on
it's
the old
above.
she's on the old one, I think,
What? I'm on the one that I got to,
this one. You're on that one.
all right, so let me just go together. Submission requirements. I was working on the one I got. Yeah. Shall otherwise, board shall condition otherwise determined for good cause shown. Site plan review, or where the board shall otherwise condition.
She's in D,
Like the first
So
paragraph.
2D,
Two. Yep, yep.
all I have for the first paragraph is one sentence.
So the last part of it.
Yeah.
Site plan review.
Where the plans
or
in
where-
question have been revised after
After.
site plan review, or where the, okay, got it.
Board
Or
shall condition.
otherwise determined for good cause shown.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my God, I'm freezing. And do you think, are we down to the other one, number 4? Or am I going too fast?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So where it says the plot plan shall show the locations of building adjacent properties in 50 feet. So it said shall show wetlands, topography, patio buildings within 20 feet of the subject property. That should be shown on the plot plan. Like 50 feet is one thing, but 20 feet is that much, I mean, that makes a big difference. you
I
know.
mean, if there are wetlands and they're impacted by the development, they've been flagged to go in front of Concom, so they're gonna be shown on the plan.
We get them in here and they're not. So that's what I'm saying, that they have to be shown. This kind of makes it clear that they have to be shown on there. I don't care, I'm just saying, it was just something that I thought, we have run across this and it hasn't happened, so I just thought it might be something to add so that we have it very clear what's expected. I think people
Well, I'd
having
switch it to-
expectations is good.
I'd switch it to 50 feet then, because you can't do any work within 50 feet of a wetland.
Okay. To also show the locations of building adjacent or within 50 feet of wetlands department.
Andrew, if you
Yeah.
put this determination in, are you gonna put it in open gov?
Sorry, I'm having such a hard time hearing
It's
today.
easy.
Well, that's tough too. So, for the zoning determination,
Perfectly.
for them to apply for that with you, is that gonna be an open gov?
Yeah.
And will it be able to be merged with their building department so that it's like kind of a pre-application for the permit?
Kind of like the flood permit.
Yeah.
Separate but concurrent.
Right, but, that's really the start of their building permit too.
What's that?
So that will still be the part of their building permit too, right? Your application?
No, it's separate. It would be a
It was to be separate, okay. I didn't know if you just would
You
merge some
issue a
information.
document. From that determination, issue a document that they would give it to you for the application.
Right, but I didn't know
That's it.
if the information entered will carry forward,
Not really, because
Okay.
we don't know if it's going to get approved. It's going to be the very start of the whole process.
Okay.
More than anything, they're not going to have any information yet. It's just going to be a document saying what they're going to need to get. It's going to be very much like the floodplain.
okay.
So is it going
That
to
works.
link them, if they get this determination from you that they need to come to zoning, is it going to link them to the application automatically that they
No,
go?
we don't have
It's
that
none of that
functionality.
stuff? Okay, all right, I just wasn't sure. That would be so nice. Just bumped it over.
I know.
Do you have any other changes?
I didn't, but I don't want to be a pain, but is this the comprehensive permit? So is this complete application, is this still part of the comprehensive permit? Like this whole thing too, the complete, like all of this is all part of the comprehensive permit? Like E?
Section E,
Yeah, so if you've got the complete application, is this all part of it?
I'm used to doing it this way.
Huh?
I said I'm not used to doing it.
I know, I have to go back to this one, I did different.
Section by section.
Yes.
Gene, could
This
you
might
take
take
notes
longer
on
than we thought.
everything?
Huh?
Could you write everything down?
So the
No,
plan
but I'm
shall
just used to
also
going,
show-
okay, here's page one,
same
and
as
go through each
D4.
paragraph each way.
Yes, I understand.
This should be the same as D4, so whatever's
It's
here should be the
definitely
same as D4 on the plan information. Whatever we do for there should be the same on this one, right? So this one here, in the complete application, the existing site and the site area, then the plan information. So the plan shall also show the locations of the buildings, blah, blah, 50 feet. It's the same as D4, should be the same as D4, correct? And then from number 1, under here, right above the 40 feet by the area there, it should be above for proposed developed plan.
So do you want to,
Should,
like, make
are we do, this
edits?
is gonna get,
And
Yeah.
then we can
I can
submit
give this to you, and then you can.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
submit it to Anthony, and then we'll bring it up on
We'll
another meeting.
collectively put them all together into
Because I
one
don't
thing
think we
and then
realized, yeah.
have another meeting
This
where
was
you
gonna
guys
be-
actually vote on them.
Yes, we can do that. That sounds good. All right, new plan. Steve, do you have some edits you want to add? We'll take it, listen to it, and then you can put it in writing.
So I have a question for Bob. So MGL clearly distinguishes the difference between associate members and full memberships on the zoning board, correct?
Yes?
Yes. So why does this board let everybody vote every time there's a
Only
vote?
the 5 regular members' votes count. It's done as a courtesy to them.
Okay, so only the 5 regular members' votes count to it.
Exactly.
And so,
Unless a board member was absent.
okay, and so this is a question from above that I was asked by someone who asked me to come here. So at the beginning of every hearing, this board should tell the applicant who the voting members are going to be. That's the way it should go.
Better practice, yes.
Yes, okay, so that needs to change. And I'm glad that you're putting this off to another meeting, because it's premature to do this before the appointment process for the new members. And like Brian said, elections have consequences, and next June, there'll be more reappointments to this board. Okay, thank you.
I don't think I understand that.
I don't, like, you gotta put something in writing and send it to us, Steve, or?
You won't need me to put it in writing. Don't worry about it, you'll hear it.
You what?
You don't need me to put it in writing.
What you just said?
Yeah. What do you want me to put in writing for? I just spoke it.
So, no, send it to Nancy, though. She's doing all the edits, so we can have it for the next meeting.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything, Eric?
There really wasn't anything that, it bothered me.
Head over the situation.
Do you have anything to add? Just chilling, okay?
No pun intended.
He's just chilling.
It's just chilling.
Okay.
This is
All right.
this is so riveting.
All right, good. So, I think that's it then, right, Nancy? So everyone send your edits to Nancy, and then we'll go over them at the next meeting.
And I will even color code the edits.
Yeah. So then
Thank you.
they'll be
Like I did for Brian
updated, we'll know who said what. All
Let's do it
right,
in order.
I think that's it. Motion adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye?
Brian Murphy, aye?
Heidi Conway, aye?
Julia.
Bank Brothers, aye.
Yeah, maybe call the select